Okay, here we go, everybody. Hold on, let me put this thing up. Remember, you can ask me anything, and please follow me on everything. Let's get started. I'm a little riled up today. Can I be riled up? I am. I'm a little riled up today. I'll tell you why. So my wife and I are in a fight. It's not a fight, but it is. I did break the coffee grinder this morning because I hate grinding in the coffee grinder because we have like a small one. So I hate grinding coffee and then having that coffee put aside and then grinding more coffee. So I'll just stuff the coffee grinder. Up until today, it was capable of taking all the coffee. Today it did not take all the coffee. And then Leslie was like, hey, I told you. Oh my God, what is this music? Let me turn this down. Where is the, where's this music? Hold on. This music is crazy. Where is VLC Player? Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. Let me turn this down. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I broke the coffee grinder. Then my wife was like, "Hey, Victor, hey, don't overstuff the coffee grinder." And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it. And so I'm drinking tea. Anyway, that was this morning. Today I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna answer this question, and is how do you tolerate assholes? I'm not gonna say. It's not really people who are assholes. It's just people who have very different ideas than you have. Because I think that there's a phrase that is overused and probably used the wrong way. Because people always say, I get where you're coming from, right? They say that. I get where you're coming from. It sounds a lot better when I talk straight into the microphone, doesn't it? Let me see if I can set this up a little better. Okay, so people are always saying, I get where you're coming from. And I think that phrase is overused and unclear because it's about empathy, right? It's about like having empathy for other people. And that's not always easy to do. But there's two ways to look at empathy, and I think most people look at it one way. One way is they say they have empathy for other people because people might, someone else might be going through a hard time, so you have empathy for their situation, or you have empathy for their lack of resources. A lot of people think about empathy that way. However, there's another way to think about empathy, and that is understanding another person's way of thinking. And if you can understand another person's way of thinking and understand how, from their point of view, you can be absolutely wrong, and sometimes you are in fact wrong. That's when you're actually having real empathy. Hold on a second, you guys. My wife is saying something. She's saying, why do you hate grinding coffee? And when are you going to replace the coffee grinder? Well, I'll tell you when I'm going to replace the coffee grinder, Leslie. Number one, I'm going to do it today. And number two, why do I hate grinding coffee? Because it's easier if it's already ground and you can just dump it in and then you got your coffee. Wow, I can't believe my wife is heckling me on the internet. Anyway, I feel like, and here's the thing. I'm a crazy person. And I don't know if you know that. If you know me, then you know that I'm a crazy person. Thanks, James. If you know me, you know that I'm a crazy person. So take what I say with a grain of salt, as I take whatever you say. Uh, and the thing is, I feel like we're in a world where like people don't like to really have discourse, and I get it that it's hard because people are saying some crazy things and doing some crazy things. Like people are legit like nuts. And if you want, I mean, and there's several ways to deal with it, and here's how I deal with it. Okay, for instance, let's talk about tolerance for a second. All right, this is how I can talk to people who are terrible, or at least who my first reaction to them is that they are terrible. Okay, there's two things I think about. One is like a pretty simple statement, and the second is an analogy. Okay, so here's a pretty simple statement. All right, simple statement is nobody thinks of themselves as a villain, right? Okay, so like nobody out there is like, you know what I'm gonna do today? Ruin other people. And there's 2 points to that. Okay, one is most people don't think of themselves as a villain and they don't think they're going to ruin other people. Some people do get joy out of making other people feel bad, but then again, that's also because they're so screwed up that they don't know how to get, because they want respect, they want, love, they want all the good stuff, but they don't know how to get it. They think their way of getting it is trying to make other people feel bad, like when people are trolling or whatever. Okay, but nobody at heart, like at heart, people just like want to be loved, want other people to like them. I see that so much. I see that in every person who's just like doing the worst things that they could possibly do. All they really, really want is for people to like them. That is, and in people who say that they don't care what other people think, I get it. And in fact, I'm a person who doesn't care what other people think a lot, but that is not a full statement. The full statement is, I don't care what other people I don't invest in think. I care what my wife thinks about everything except the coffee grinder. I mean, I care about what she thinks very, very much. And so when you say you don't care what people think, remember that statement is not 100% full. All right, let me show you my analogy, because I'm working on this. All right, I'm working on this analogy for how to like truly tolerate. Okay, and then you tell me what you think of it. All right, so here's a for instance. I'm not a super religious person, but there are a lot of very religious people in my life, and sometimes conversations are difficult, right? Because sometimes, like, it's obvious that we don't agree about the same thing. Okay, here we go. That was me with the angry face. Leslie, that is not a surprise. Okay? You're not surprising me. Alright. So, by the way, shout out to my wife who bought me this mug. She thought when she bought me this mug, I was like, I don't think I can drink out of that except at home. I mean, it's just like, well, she bought it for me. Let me point her out on the mug. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I know I have conversations with people all the time who are very religious, and I am not very religious. But let me tell you this analogy, and then maybe you can tell me whether or not you agree with me about how to tolerate people. Okay, here it is. I drew a picture to help. Okay, so this is you, all right? That's you. You're hanging out. Now, you got a hat on because you're pretty cool. You know how to dress, all right? And then you see this person. The camera's reversed. I'm great at pointing normally. Okay, so you see this person, and this person is standing on the tracks, and they are blissfully unaware that there is a train barreling down on them. This is a train. This is not just a series of boxes and triangles with a couple of circles. This is a very good rendering of a train. Anyway, so you see this person. They're standing on the train tracks, and they are They're unaware. Okay, so like most people would be like, "Hey, dude, get off the tracks. There's a train coming," and then this person doesn't get off the tracks. Okay, so and the reason they don't get off the tracks is because they're looking the other way and they don't believe there's a train. Okay, they don't believe there's a train. They can't see the train. They're just like, there's no train. Most people, whoever you are, like most people would then pull that person off the train knowing that that person would thank them later. Okay, so you would just pull them off the train. I mean, do you agree with that? Boob mug. Yes, that was a boob mug, Jennifer. Thank you for pointing it out. What's good, Victor? Titty mug is legit. Thanks, Taylor. I'm talking to you guys about something that's really important, and everybody's, I mean, but it's all right. All right. So anyway, train. You got the train. You got the person on the tracks, and you're on the tracks. The person, you pull them off the tracks, even when they did not want you to pull them off the tracks, because you know that they're gonna thank you later. I mean, you tried to explain to them about the train, but they're like, dude, I don't care. You know what? Even if there is a train, I don't care. But most people would still run and pull that person off the tracks. That's what I think. You can tell me if you disagree. Please continue with your analogy. Thank you, Jennifer. For oh, what's good? Sorry, you did that already. Okay, so most people would still pull that person off the tracks. Okay, now I haven't met anybody who disagrees with me at this point who said that like they wouldn't just run up and pull that person off the tracks. I haven't met a person who disagrees with that yet. Okay, so here's this. Here's the turn of the analogy. Okay, so imagine instead that this is you. Okay, that is you. Okay, and this is a person who is completely religious and believes everything, like everything. Okay, and this is hell. Okay, this is eternal damnation. All right, now whether or not you believe in that, this person does. They believe in that 100%. And they know that if they do nothing and don't pull you off these tracks, you're definitely 100%. It's a train, okay? 100%. So this person, of course, they're going to proselytize to you. Of course, they're going to be like, hey, do this, do that, get your life right. Because they're trying desperately to stop you from being run over by the hell train. And that being said, I don't necessarily, it's not saying, like I said, I'm not very religious, but I understand and I have empathy for the person who is running up to me, trying to shake me and say, please, please, please change your life. Don't get hit by the hell train. Even though I'm on the tracks and I'm like, yo, if there's a hell train, I'll deal with it when it comes. You know, even though I'm being this person, I still have empathy for them because I can see from their point of view that they're really just trying to protect me from the train. Now, that's one thing, but then imagine that this is you. Let's just take this same analogy and let's water it down a little bit. Imagine that this is you. And this is another person, and this is their belief that is different from yours, okay? They 100% believe that thing that is different from your belief. So when you're talking to somebody who completely disagrees with you, try to remember this analogy, because I do all the time. I've been thinking about this analogy for actually years. This is just how I think about things. This is how I just like kind of take people as they come, because I get it that nobody really wants to hurt other people. They just either they're confused or they believe something different than I do, or I'm wrong. All of that is very, very possible. What do you think of my analogy, you guys? Do you think it's completely dumb? Maybe. Are there any questions about my analogy? I've decided to format the show this way from now on, which is I'm going to every morning I'm going to have something prepared to talk to you guys about, and then I'm going to open it up for questions if you guys have any questions as I'm moving forward. Here's what I have to do today while you think of whatever questions that you have. On my to-do list today, I had pairs. I have, I don't know, I was talking about working on that script the other day that was having trouble breaking, but I broke it and now it's good. And when I say breaking, for those of you who don't do a lot of writing, I mean I was having trouble making the script work, but now it works. Let's see. Josh, analogy is great. Thanks, Josh. Thank you. So I won't throw the analogy away. But that's just how I feel. Spot on. Helps me patient with religious folks. Helps you be patient with religious folks. Yeah, I get it. I totally understand. Makes sense, even if it feels like they're pushing you in front of the train with their good intention. I get that too. I totally understand. I mean, it does feel that way. This is actually funny. This kind of deals with this phrase that I think I coined. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a phrase I think I coined, and that is, and if you search for this in quotes, you'll find my Twitter. Okay? And the phrase is, nothing is sacred because everything is stupid. It's my reminder. That's just what I've boiled down my life's philosophy to. And it means that I always remind myself that the things that I hold important could mean absolutely nothing to other people, and vice versa. Like, remember that sometimes, like, you'll be so offended by something that somebody does, and they may not even have a clue that it's an issue. And the same way, sometimes you will treat something as if it has no value when somebody else is like, "That is my baby. What are you doing to my baby?" I don't know. That's just how I think about it. Sorry, you already said that. I just put it up again. Anyway, those are my thoughts on tolerance. Anyway, good luck tolerating people, everybody. Let's tolerate everyone we hate. Somebody said that, a comedian. I forgot who said that, but that wasn't my quote. That was a comedian. I said nothing is sacred because everything is stupid. That's my quote, but I don't know who said that other one. All right, everybody, here's your marching orders. I want you to go out there and try to have a great, great day. Some of you will succeed. Some of you may not. Both are okay. Burp, 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 doo, doo, doo. Yeah.